Nicholas Joseph Callahan, June 22nd, 1995 to June 27th, 2009. Nicholas Joseph Callahan died on June 27th, 2009 at the age 14. The cause of death was a congenital heart condition. He was born June 22nd, 1995 in Portland to parents Melanie Kozik and Juan Callahan. He was raised in Milwaukee and graduated from Alder Creek Middle School, where he was on the honor roll. His hobbies included longboarding, skateboarding, snowboarding, target shooting, camping, caring for his dogs, watching movies, and spending time with family and friends. In addition to parents, survivors include sister Allie Kozik, grandparents Joe and Marilyn Kozik, and Eloise and Cordell Sailors, and aunts Teresa Kozik and Michelle Wellnitz. A service was held July 7th, 2009 at the Abundant Life Church in Happy Valley with an interment at Mountain View Cemetery. This was Nick's. It breaks my heart. It was posted next to Chuck, who was 80, Betty, who was 78, and Terry, who was 53. He was 14. The first time I found out about Nick, I was in my car. I don't exactly remember what time or when. In fact, I thought I just got out of school for the day, but he didn't die until the summer. When I found out, it was over a text message that said, "Rip Nick Callahan. Forward this if you knew him." I thought it was some joke. So I remember I called someone and talked to them about it, and they said it was true. I still didn't believe them. They said to go look at Alder Creek. It was posted on the school board. The next day I passed Alder Creek, and my heart sank. I couldn't believe it was true.
It was a great summer day, and I came inside to check my MySpace. I started to read everybody's status updates. They were saying things like, "Rip Nick Callahan," and "I'll miss you, Nick," and I couldn't believe it. Like, how could happy, bright, healthy Nick be dead? To think that I couldn't see him again, to think I couldn't see his face, it broke my heart. I cried for like the next week, and when the funeral came around, I didn't even have the guts to go. I miss him so much.
Actually talking to him, but I couldn't just keep this inside of me, so I wrote to him. "Today was your funeral, and it was the hardest thing I have ever had to do. Brianna talked about all the times in LA when you'd talk too much and get in trouble, and Sarah talked about how nice you were to her. I wanted to talk, but I knew I wouldn't make it more than a few sentences without crying, and then no one would understand what I was saying. There were a lot of people there. A lot of people love you, and a lot of people are going to miss you. You changed my life, Nick Callahan. I hope you know that."
The day of Nick's funeral was one of the worst days of my life. I've never cried so much. It's weird, going to a funeral for someone your age, especially when it's just a kid. It really made me think about all of the wonderful times of my life. It's going to be strange, going to high school without him.
Nick's funeral was the toughest thing I have ever been put through. I didn't want it to happen, but I never wanted it to end. Nick was a great friend of mine. Knowing that I never get to see him again, hear him again, or talk to him again breaks my heart. I really miss you, Nick.
I remember when Nick went off this girl named Allie. She was so tall compared to him, and here was little Nick holding her hand.
I remember back in elementary school, we'd pretend that the plate structure was a ship, and we'd be crashing into the rocks ahead.
I remember in LA class, he'd always come up to me and start singing that Don't Stop Believing song. I get so mad at him because then it gets stuck in my head, and then I start singing it, and he's like, no, this is a disgrace to Journey. You have to stop.
You guys remember his golfer hat? It fit his personality so well. It was like to a T.
I had acting with him, and every day he'd want to play park bench. But when we play it, he'd be the same person over and over again.
You guys were so lucky to have known him.
If only he were alive now.
Nick was a great friend. He had the ability to brighten up anyone's day. He was everybody's friend, and no one had one bad thing to say about him. You couldn't stay mad at Nick.
I never knew Nick Callahan, but I've seen the impact he's made on all the kids here at Putnam. On my first day of school, I saw all these memorial service programs in front of people's binders. So I asked this girl who sat next to me in biology who he was, and she told me he was her friend, Nick Callahan, and he had died of a heart condition that nobody knew about. People loved him, and it was such a tragedy. Then, one day in PE, my best friend started crying almost instantly when she heard Don't Stop Believin' by Journey come on the radio. People are never going to forget Nick.
It's been 10 months since Nick died, and I'm still writing him notes. I had a dream about you. You were wearing this white graffiti print t-shirt and some jeans, I think. And you walked through the wall in history class. And it was weird because you didn't say anything to me. You just smiled and nodded and then turned around and went back. And I almost asked, wait, where are you going? But then I knew. You were going to God. Was this you, the angel Nick that put this in my head? Was this you telling me, it's all right, it's time to let go, I'm okay? Or was this just me, grasping at something to try and put you at rest? I wish I knew these things. I wish I knew why I'm here and you had to go. What's my purpose? You changed my life. You taught me to live.
Nick, I try and think about you every day. Thinking about you is what gets me through the day. Knowing that one day I'll see you again is what gets me up in the morning. I miss you, Nick. We all miss you, Nick. Not a day goes by when someone isn't saying something about you. I've learned so much about you. I didn't know you loved to longboard. I promised myself I'd learn. I can't wait to see you again.
Thank you.
We miss you.
You would love high school.
Sorry.
I wish I had known you.
Things will never be the same without you.
We
Love.
You.
Good.
Bye.
Nick.